Right, so why people even talk like he the best at, he didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126, 30 or none of that.
He is good.
Possible. I think Lamont Roach is a good fighter, so he better shut up and stay focused.
Yeah, I think right now, yeah, Shakur the only fight that I think that can really give him that challenge, just because, you know, he got very high IQ, great defense.
After Shakur Stevenson defeated Josh Padley, Gervonta Davis responded with a subtle dismissive tweet that read, LOL. Tank's reactions to Stevenson's performance indicate that he thinks Shakur is overrated and not a serious threat. Davis wasn't displaying any of the Shakur hype, and it was obvious that he was annoyed. Tank fired shots, asking why Stevenson was regarded as one of the best boxers when he hadn't even properly fought at 135, and pointing out that Shakur lacked knockout power even when fighting at 126. This was a direct challenge to Stevenson's legitimacy as an elite fighter, and it was evident that Tank wasn't backing down from the ongoing verbal duel.
Some of your 135 contemporaries have a lot to say these days. Shakur Stevenson, well, of course, he's now at 135 after all that stuff, and then Devin Haney.
Right, so why people even talk like he the best at, he didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126, 30 or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you, all that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you're going to get hit. What you going to do when you get hit?
During the press conference following the fight, Stevenson showed his admiration for Saudi Arabia and the way they handle fighters. He also commended Turki Alek, the chairman of the Saudi Arabian General Entertainment Authority, for his investment in boxing and the opportunities he is offering as the nation quickly develops into a major venue for high-profile bouts. Given that Saudi Arabia is prepared to pay high prices to host major fights, Stevenson made it clear that he would love to fight there again in the future. He even implied that a possible matchup with Davis would take place there.
Padley, I'm just going to say to you now, true warrior spirit tonight. Taking this on such short notice, a lack of preparation, but then now you know the levels in terms of if you want to achieve the ultimate goal in this, but the fighter in you, I could only imagine, is probably a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Obviously, I would like to have stayed in there a little bit longer, but conditioning wasn't quite there to the body, and they were taking the toll, as you can probably see. Wouldn't have liked to have gone down to some of them, but not quite at that level yet, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
You know what, sometimes there's no shame in terms of saying that you can just learn from this, because it's always a journey, so I'm just going to say to you, ultimately, the important question I asked you before was you going to achieve greatness tonight? It was a lot of variables for you to kind of control in terms of the changes, the new arena, all the rest of it. But when you reflect, Shakur, are you happy? That's what I want to ask you first.
Oh, I'm very happy. The name of the game in boxing is hit and don't get hit. I'm a master of it. I didn't get hit, and I hit the guy more than he hit me. So it was a great performance for me. I'm happy with it. There's probably some people that's going to critique and say this and say that, but shut up, I got it done, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
So I ask you more, just one word. You going to come back here? This is a new home? You going to make this a home as well?
Yeah, I love Saudi Arabia. I love the energy here. I love the fans. Everybody treated me well, and it was an amazing time for me.
Appreciate the work tonight, man.
Stevenson took Davis's retort seriously and shot back, asking Davis to maintain his focus because he was about to face Lamont Roach. Even more upsetting was Stevenson's assertion that he thinks Roach might defeat Davis. Even though the majority of experts believe Davis would defeat Roach, Stevenson's remarks seemed to be more intended to irritate Davis than to make a sincere prediction. But it's obvious that Stevenson wants Davis's attention and is prepared to insult him in order to force a fight.
Shakur, obviously, Tank Davis is the name on everyone's lips. Eddie Hearn spoke about it. Tank tweeted tonight, LOL, during the mid-rounds. What do you make of that?
That's what he's supposed to do. He got to do that, but once again, he got to fight next week, right? So let's see. Let's see what he do. He fighting Lamont Roach next week. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight.
Do you think Lamont Roach could beat Tank Davis next week?
I think, yes. I think it's possible. I think Lamont Roach is a good fighter, so he better shut up and stay focused.
What's the conversations been like with Turki Alek about that Gervonta Tank Davis fight? Because Eddie says he wants to make it.
Turki want to make the fight too. I think that, once again, it's the biggest fight in boxing. He won it. I won it. Now it's all up to Tank.
Last one from me. Terence Crawford said you're like his little brother, and he's so proud of you tonight. What does it mean to you hearing that from Terence?
It means everything. Like I said, I'm an elite level fighter. I'm on the highest skill level, and I got my brothers coming here supporting me. I could listen to him a little bit more because he know what he's talking about. So I appreciate him, and I thank him for coming.
Shakur, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Some people saw Stevenson wince after delivering specific punches during the bout against Padley, which may have been the reason he decided against going for an early knockout. Stevenson also seemed to strain his surgically repaired left hand again. Stevenson demonstrated his elite skills by stopping Josh Padley despite having an injured hand. Boxing legends and analysts commended him, recognizing his technique and ring IQ, but not all fans were impressed. Many fans called the fight dull, criticizing Stevenson for failing to deliver an explosive knockout or participate in a more entertaining fight. This divide between boxing purists and casual fans consistently comes up when talking about Stevenson's style.
Boring Shakur. That's what all boxing fans saying right now. Even though Shakur Stevenson did get TKO stoppage after getting his hand surgery, he did hurt Padley with a body shot earlier in the fight. In the 9th round, after again catching Padley to the body, Padley's corner threw in the towel. Shakur Stevenson is polarizing. Professional athletes, the top boxers today, stay on Shakur's side, saying that he is great. His technique and abilities is just on another level. On the other side, we have fans who are just not satisfied with his style, not fan-friendly fighter. I could agree to that. When Shakur lets his hands go, he does land. He's accurate. He is great. But what is he gonna do from now on? Is he gonna continue being stubborn and do what he does and see what he gets him? Or he gives fans what they're asking for by being more aggressive, by getting stoppages? There's Gervonta Davis, Keyshawn Davis, there's Lomachenko.
Many supporters were disappointed with Shakur's performance because they thought that, given his abilities, he ought to have eliminated Josh Padley much sooner. Due to the gap and Padley's short notice, there were great anticipation that Stevenson would terminate the battle swiftly.
Shakur Stevenson defeats Josh Padley in the 8th round after dropping him 3 times and his team throwing in the white towel to end the fight. Now, it was a very good performance by Shakur Stevenson, but I don't know if I'm just a hater or I don't like the guy, but I didn't like the fight. I thought that Shakur Stevenson could have put out Padley a lot earlier. I understand that Shakur Stevenson is a patient fighter and he likes to take his time and he likes to pick his punches very, very carefully, but I think having a Padley that took this fight on Tuesday was a very good opportunity for you to show us, the whole boxing community, the whole world, that you can knock somebody out, and he had that opportunity and I feel like he just didn't take it. So for me, it's just kind of a bad taste. Again, I don't know if I'm just a hater or a lot of other people feel this way, so I'm curious to know if you think that Shakur Stevenson could have done better.
I got to make sure that I'm on top of my game because there's a lot of great fighters in the division. Even though I think the division was overrated because they wasn't fighting each other. But now that they fighting each other, there's a lot of great fighters, and I got to be on top of my A game.
A bout between Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, in his opinion, would be the greatest fight in history, a true test of skill, speed, and boxing IQ. Despite all the criticism and back-and-forth exchanges, there is a lot of tension and build-up between them. There has never been more excitement for this bout.
You and Tank ever linked up in the ring?
Yeah, we sparred before.
Can we ever expect a fight?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's going to be one of the biggest fights in the world.
No cap.
I feel like how they talking about Earl and Bud Crawford, I feel like me and Tank going to be basically 2.0 of that.
Yeah.
Probably even bigger than that. So
that Earl and Bud, who you got?
I think it's a great fight. I ain't going to pick no winner. I'm forever rocking with Bud regardless, though. So I want to sit there as a fan. But at the end of the day, you got to realize, too, like with Earl, people don't know, Earl showed me like a lot of love since I done came out the amateurs. I'm trying to stay out of that. I'm trying to be more so the person that just watch as a fan and just watch how the fight go and just sit there, enjoy the fight.
By referring to Tank as a clown and asserting with confidence that Davis cannot defeat him, Shakur elevated the trash talk to a new level. Stevenson is renowned for his unwavering self-confidence and his obvious belief that he is the best fighter.
The whole time, him and his dad and his people lied on me the entire build-up. So no, I'll probably never give that kid an opportunity.
And you said that you're putting your money on Lamont Rose. But if Tank gets the victory, is that the obvious fight that's going to be next?
Yeah, it's the two best fighters in boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis is a hell of a fighter. I keep telling y'all he got great skills. But I'm better than him. I'm better than him at hit and don't be hit, and he can't beat me.
Was it a bit frustrating tonight with Padley just not being willing to play ball?
Nah, it ain't frustrating. I mean, that's what he's supposed to do. He was supposed to come in here, give it his all, make sure that he make it to the 12th round. That's what he was trying to do. So I succeeded at my job, and he tried to do his job.
I imagine that Tank was tweeting LOL because it took you so long to get rid of him, but you didn't prepare for him. Did you have any idea how he was going to fight or what his style would be before the first bell rang?
Nah, I actually really ain't watch him that much, but once again, Tank's style, he's a power puncher. He's a guy that's trying to knock you out. I'm a guy that's trying to break you down, pick you apart, win. If the knockout comes, it comes. So two different styles, but I'm better than him at the art of boxing.
And obviously, you and Tank have your disses here and there, but you know you kind of alluded to it a couple of seconds ago. Is there deep down respect for each other?
I got respect for his game. I don't got respect for the person. I think he's a clown.
Hey,
How can you make that fight happen, Shakur?
Turkey got all the money, so put the biggest fight on. I mean, let's negotiate. I think both of us can make a lot of money, and I'm ready to make it happen.
While fans are divided over the possibility of a Tank versus Shakur showdown, many boxing analysts and professionals think that Shakur might be too strong for the Tank given his mix of strength, experience, and talents.
So recently, Terrence Crawford had an interview when he was asked the question, who you got in this fight, Shakur or Tank? And he basically said he think that Tank can't beat Shakur, and Tank knows it because that Shakur is not going to get touched. He has too much defense for Tank and all of this shit. And damn near compared Shakur to fucking Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to say this. Shakur, I do think you got skills. And I'm going to just say it, bruh. You are not a fucking Floyd Mayweather. We're talking about fucking Floyd Money Mayweather. The Philly Shuffle. Nigga, you can't touch him. You ain't touching him. It's over. It's Floyd Mayweather. Don't get this man pumped up and get him popped out here, bruh. Because that's what you're doing. You go have that man go in the ring with Tank and think that he Macho Man, goddamn Terminator, and he go get his motherfucking lights cut off like he ain't paid a bill. That motherfucker Tank, at the end of the day, you know how many niggas he fought that got defense? And he tore their ass down? Like, if we speaking facts right now, bruh, yes, it's a lot of niggas that probably is quicker than Tank and some more shit. The thing is, it's like, the way he hit you, like, if you get hit by Tank, bro, I'm not gonna lie, the right way, you're going to sleep. I don't give a fuck if you Muhammad Ali. You're going to bed. Bro, I just watched a video. He just did a private boxing, like, you know, a sparring thing where he let people come and watch him fucking train. The dude, the trainer who he fucking doing pads with, he knocked this nigga elbow out the socket. Come on, bro, like his shit hanging. He knocked his elbow out the socket. I'm telling you. Y'all keep pumping this nigga, bro. I'm telling you, out of everybody that we keep matching Tank with, Shakur gonna get it the worst. Because everybody pumping him up. You got your own mans. You got Terrence Crawford talking about, yeah, he got defense like Mayweather. Boy, he go get his ass barbecued in that ring. Not even cooked, go get his ass barbecued. I can see it right now. Ding, ding. Got a little smirk on his face. Think shit funny. Tank walk his goofy ass down. Like, y'all keep playing like this man ain't really walking niggas down low-key. Like, in the ring, like, stretching shit. You know how many niggas just done seen backflip in the air? That's how you know it's over. You get the backflip over top of you, you cooked.
While fans are divided over the possibility of a Tank versus Shakur showdown, many boxing analysts and professionals think that Shakur might be too strong for the Tank given his mix of strength, experience, and talents.
Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. Who wins and how? Now let me tell you, but first hit that follow button if you haven't already. We're on a mission to get to 10k. So this is one of the fights that everybody wants to see next. Especially after the way that Tank dealt with Frank Martin. Now personally, if this happened, I do think that Tank would just have a little bit too much for Shakur Stevenson. Now why do I think this? Well, it goes down to who both guys have been in with previously. I do think that Tank has been in there with a higher calibre of opponent than Shakur Stevenson, and Tank has been knocking these guys out as well, whereas Shakur has been getting unanimous decisions. Just behind me you can see Tank Davis's last few fights. So you've got Frank Martin at the top, arguably his best win. Ryan Garcia, arguably his second best win. Hector Garcia, who is a very, very good talent. Rolly Romero, who, yes, okay, Rolly's getting clowned a bit at the minute. But Rolly, in my opinion, still is an okay fighter. Yes, he's not quite world level, but on his night, Rolly can be difficult for anybody. And then at the bottom, you've got a guy who's getting a lot of traction at the minute. You've got Isaac Cruz, or better known as Pitbull Cruz. A lot of people have said that Pitbull could potentially go on to unify his division, and Tank's already beat him. And then right at the bottom, you've got old man Mario Barrios, who again is a tricky night for anybody. When we compare that to Shakur Stevenson's last few fights, it doesn't quite marry up. Now this has actually clipped out a lot of the fighters. You've got Yoshido on there, you've got Cohen Chow on there. Just at the bottom, probably Shakur's best performance, which is unanimous decision win against Oscar Valdez. And then other than that, you've probably got Herring, which is the next best win.
Warned against passing judgment too quickly on Shakur Stevenson, pointing out that fans frequently make hurried conclusions, and that he thinks many people are wrongly labeling Shakur as overrated. Stevenson, on the other hand, is still establishing himself and requires more time before being classified in any way.
I think it's unfortunate that we rush to judgment. Case in point, Ortiz Madrimov. There's people who think Madrimov is going to destroy Ortiz. Nobody can name any of his other fights. It's only because he put on a good performance against Terrence Crawford. We'll name his best one. We rush to judgment, throw away everything Ortiz did in his tooth and nail fight with Boachuk, and we rush to Madrimov being this Gene Tunney. Wait a minute. Let's see. The jury is still out. Let's see him against Ortiz. Let's see. So Shakur has the worst performance ever from a high-level fighter against De Los Santos. All of a sudden, he's a boring fighter. Him against Artem, he didn't knock him out, but it was a good performance. It's just that that rush to judgment, he's already tagged as a boring fighter. And I'm going to make the case that he was hurt. He was fighting with one hand. And it's not an excuse, it's a reason.
Tank Davis may be the only fighter who can defeat Stevenson, according to ideas expressed by renowned trainer Teddy Atlas. Atlas has been in the game for decades, and his viewpoint is respected. His statement heightens interest in the possible bout by implying that it would be a true test of greatness.
Because Shakur Stevenson is that difficult, because of his style, because of his abilities, because of his eyes, because of his, his legs, that his hand speed, the way that he controls range. Tank Davis is the only guy that I can see that could possibly decipher that style and beat Shakur Stevenson.
Although Atlas thinks Tank could take on Shakur, he also thought highly of Stevenson, likening him to an opera because of his graceful and fluid boxing style.
That you trained to do? No, you're going to do those things, but you got to do them with that style. You got to do them at the highest level, and you got to do them where people say, at the end of the day, you know what? I appreciate it. It's kind of like somebody, they like rock and roll, but then one day they go to the opera. You get them to finally go in there, and they hear that. They hear that. The angels singing. And they say, not bad. It didn't give me earaches. It didn't shake the walls the way I'm used to getting the walls shaking and get me going crazy. But it did something for me. He can do something for you if you can just let him fight the best guys and appreciate that.
The victory went to Stevenson. Josh Padley has received praise from many for stepping up with only 4 days' notice, and yet putting on a solid performance.
Shakur stops Josh Padley, but come on, Josh Padley put up a good fight for only a 4-day notice, and he absolutely deserves another shot at a contender. Honestly, Floyd, you gotta fight this dude now, because he stepped in for you on 4 days notice, and now you need to step up to him. Because Josh Padley showed that he has heart in there, and honestly, I think I'd pick him to beat Floyd Scofield. He gave it his all in there with no camp. Only 4 days, bro. And yeah, it was clear Shakur was winning the fight the whole time, but Padley was not giving up. He was giving it all he got. And I 100% believe that Josh the Electrician Padley could be a contender in the 135-pound division. I'm not saying he could be a champ, but I definitely want to see this guy fight again. because I would love to see what he looks like with a full cam. Great work by Shakur. He worked the body like he's supposed to, but they literally had to throw in the towel. Josh Padley went down 3 times and was not giving up. So hats off to Josh Padley. Good win by Shakur. And Floyd, you gotta fight this dude now.
Although Josh Padley was not previously well known, his battle with Stevenson has provided him with a fantastic opportunity to establish himself. He also possesses a silver championship in the WBC, demonstrating his respectability as a boxer.
Josh Padley has the opportunity to pull off one of the most amazing stories in boxing this weekend. After Floyd Scofield pulled out of his fight this weekend with Shakur Stevenson due to illness, it looks like Padley's now going to step in against Shakur Stevenson in his first attempt at winning a world title. Padley put himself in this position by winning the WBC silver title a few months ago against Mark Chamberlain, one of the best fighters in the lightweight division in Britain, and causing a massive upset at Wembley Stadium. Just 2 fights ago, he was on a small hole card in Leeds, and now this Saturday, he could become a world champion for the first time on the biggest card in boxing history.
The true problem isn't only Shakur, it's money. Many boxers are reluctant to fight him because they find his style uninteresting, but they are prepared to do so in order to receive the enormous payout. Even Floyd Mayweather's financial clout helps to arrange these bouts.
They offered him 15 million, 5 fights. They offered him a guarantee of 3 million a fight. Now, from a Shakur Stevenson point of view, I'm thinking about that deal and I'm thinking, you must be absolutely crazy not to take that deal. Because you are not generating that money pay-per-view, mate. Nobody is buying a pay-per-view to watch Shakur Stevenson right now because he is boring. Everybody wants to be Floyd Mayweather, but what they forget...
Money. They all want to be Money Mayweather.
Before money, there was pretty.
Exactly.
Right? There was pretty boy Floyd who came and knocked dudes out, who was seriously exciting. There's 2 sides to the Floyd Mayweather story.
Yeah.
The first bit, which built him to this star... got us all giddy and got us all excited. And then the second bit is where he said, you can't figure out the Da Vinci Code. You can't figure it out. All this lot are coming along and I'm going, well, hang on a minute. You've not done the pretty boy thing first. Come on, lads. It's getting dull.
Terence Crawford weighed in and said that Stevenson's defense is too strong for Tank to defeat Shakur.
Josh Padley has the opportunity to pull off one of the most amazing stories in boxing this weekend. After Floyd Scofield pulled out of his fight this weekend with Shakur Stevenson due to illness, it looks like Padley's now going to step in against Shakur Stevenson in his first attempt at winning a world title. Padley put himself in this position by winning the WBC silver title a few months ago against Mark Chamberlain, one of the best fighters in the lightweight division in Britain, and causing a massive upset at Wembley Stadium. Just 2 fights ago, he was on a small hole card in Leeds, and now this Saturday, he could become a world champion for the first time on the biggest card in boxing history.
Crawford thinks Tank won't even get clean shots from Stevenson.
So recently, Terence Crawford had an interview when he was asked the question, who you got in this fight, Shakur or Tank? And he basically said he think that Tank can't beat Shakur, and Tank knows it because that Shakur is not going to get touched. He has too much defense for Tank and all of this shit. And damn near compared Shakur to fucking Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to say this. Shakur, I do think you got skills. And I'm going to just say it, bruh. You are not a fucking Floyd Mayweather. We're talking about fucking Floyd Money Mayweather. The Philly Shuffle. Nigga, you can't touch him. Hey, you ain't touching him. It's over. It's Floyd Mayweather. Don't get this man pumped up and get him popped out here, bruh. Because that's what you're doing.
Whatever one's thoughts, it is undeniable that Tank versus Shakur is the largest and most anticipated boxing bout of the moment, and fans are anxious to see if this ideal pairing can materialize.
This is one of the craziest reasons to pull out a fight ever. So this weekend we've got the biggest card ever, the best card ever, but one of the fights is off. It is Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Scofield. Now, yes, it probably is the weakest fight on the card, but it's still a little bit disappointing. However, the excuse from Floyd Scofield, or maybe not the excuse, maybe the reason from Floyd Scofield is that he got ill, but the rumours are circulating that he actually got poisoned. Apparently, there's leaked text messages out there saying that he got poisoned. Now, guys, what is more likely? That he got poisoned, or that he just mucked up his weight cut? Because you've got to do a check weigh-in for these fights, and check weigh-ins are a separate video altogether, but they're ridiculous. But I just think he's more likely just fucked that up that I'm being poisoned. That's the kind of excuse I used to come up with at school or when I was working in Asda. At school, I would say, I'm sorry I was late and I was in a car crash. And then they'd be like, oh my God, are you okay? And you wouldn't get in trouble. And then at Asda's, when I used to make pizzas and I couldn't be bothered going, I would just say my gran died or a family member had died. The amount of grans and granddads that passed away during that time was unbelievable. This is kind of what I think might have happened here. He knows if he doesn't make weight and he mucks this up, which he probably has, he's never getting on a Turkey Alley sheet card again. He's never making that kind of money again. So he's like, right, what can we do? Let's say I've been poisoned. That way, I cannot get in trouble, and then I get another shot at being on one of these big, massive cards. But what do you think? Let me know. Did he get poisoned, or did he just muck up his weight cut? Pat.
That concludes today's video. Watch this space until the next one.